If you're picking perks randomly in daily survival, then you should stop, because some perks are insanely strong, while others are straight up bait. Which is why I'll be making a tier list on which ones you should pick. I'll start by first breaking down the different tiers I have created for this ranking system. So first of all, we have the S tier, which is which are basically perks that you should prioritize over all others. And then we have A tier. These are second priorities. You'll need them. And then we have C tier, or depending on your playstyle. These are perks that, as the name suggests, you should pick depending on your playstyle. And then we have mid, which are perks that are probably only useful, well, barely useful for early game players. And then lastly, we have F tier. These are perks that I consider to be trash. That you won't need, basically. Now remember, this video will be quite subjective based on my own experiences, okay? And how I play. But of course, you could also play on your own way and decide how you want to rank the different perks in the game. But basically, I believe that most of my of the perks I'll be putting in these ranking systems will be accurate. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into the first one. Need for fuel. I'll put this on mid tier because what it does, yes, it increases the amount of fuel you scavenge from abandoned vehicles. But this is only good for early game players, because as you progress through the game, you realize, or at least I did, that you will mostly obtain your fuel from settlements. Nowadays, when I find fuel from vehicles, I usually just use it to make torches. Well, the gasoline at least, not the diesel. But yeah, I'll put this on mid tier. And now we have the butcher. Before the big update, it used to be an S tier because you could sell meat and other stuff to the NPC trader to obtain money. But now that's basically impossible. The only way to sell meat to the trader is by selling sorted meat, which is quite, well, inconvenient. Which is why I'll be putting it on playstyle. Now, why playstyle? Because maybe you farm meat and sell it to other players, or maybe you use the butcher perk to farm to gain extra meat to craft sausages for maybe player jobs or whatever. So yeah, this one depends on your playstyle. Farmer, it also depends on your playstyle. Maybe you like to collect or to grow a lot of crops. Well, that's good for you. But yeah, this depends on your playstyle. If you farm a lot in the game, then this is one perk you should pick. It increases the amount of crops the greenhouses will yield. And then the lumberjack, it also depends on your playstyle. What it does, it increases the amount of wood you find by 50% for each level. This perk is good for players who work as lumberjacks in the game. And if you don't know what I mean, then I'm basically referring to people who take on jobs from other players as lumberjacks. Angler, it also depends on your playstyle. What it does, it increases the amount of fish you catch whilst fishing. This is good for those who take fishing jobs from players. Herbalist, same thing. This is good for players who harvest a lot of herbs for maybe jobs, or maybe if you just like collecting herbs to craft different things, such as antibiotics or other things like that, etc. Clean water enthusiast. What this perk does, it makes you restore 30 water instead of 20, which in my opinion is kind of mid. I mean, you've got the Santa's Flask or the Smuggler's Flask, and also this is just a waste of a perk. There are easy ways to obtain large quantities of water, for example, by collecting a lot of ice and then smelting it with a lot of wood. And yes, the Lumberjack perk here, it works good with the ice extraction thing. Sausage enthusiast. Uh, I don't know what to put here, but I'll say probably. You know what? No, F tier, because you don't need it. There's so many food sources, so many different foods that give you a lot of more food. You don't need it. I don't. You don't. Nobody needs it. Basically, what this does, it makes you restore 75 food instead of 50 food points. I mean, it looks like it's a lot, but there are better perks for you to spend that slot on. Saving on armor costs. What this does, it reduces the amount of armor points you lose for each level. So first by 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50 at the last level. I'll say that this is an S tier, because it'll save on cost. You won't have to spend as much money on repairing them in settlements. Pick them. Saving on motor costs. I'll say this is also an S tier. Well, I guess we could put these on A tier, because you could technically survive without them. But in my opinion, both of these are S tiers, because you'll have to pay less to repair them. And yeah, you lose less durability over time. Saving on weapon costs is the same principle. You lose less durability when you use them. It is good for long-term usage. Saving on the gas mask filter costs. Now this is a good one. Well, in my opinion, this is. Oh, what do I put it on? I would very much like to put this on S, but I think it is not as crucial as the ones above. So basically, what the gas or the saving on filter costs does, it increases the durability of your gas mask. First by 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50%. It increases basically by a maximum of 50%. It's, in my opinion, it's quite useful. I use it, and it makes you loot. It allows you to loot cities for much longer without having to constantly replace the gas masks. Moving on, we got the saving on water filter costs. F tier. Just F tier. Nobody uses it. Like, who uses water filters? Like, I could see early game players doing it, yes. Then in that case, it could be useful, but nowadays, you could just use wood to make clean water. Like, I mean, the campfire, it's easy as that. Which is why I believe that water filters have been rendered basically obsolete. You don't need them anymore, because you have got the campfire. And ice, which is also good. It gives two clean waters. Saving on hacksaw costs. Basically, it gives more durability for the hacksaw. And in my opinion, these are all for tools. These all save the durability on axes, tools, crowbars, etc. I mean, you could theoretically use them if you have a spare slot for a perk. You could put it on these, on the tool you use the most. But I wouldn't. I could do it, but I don't. I use it on. I basically don't use these perks. They're useless to me. And now we have the strong immune system. Basically, it decreases the duration of injuries and illnesses. Yeah, in my opinion, that's an F tier. You could basically, if you've watched my previous videos, then you'll know that you can sleep through days quite easily without having to spend a lot of food. For example, reduce all of your food points to zero, and then just maybe eat one rusk, and then sleep 24 hours. You'll only lose 10 food and gain an entire day. Well, waste an entire day. Yeah. So, but yeah, you don't need these. You're fine without them. And then duration of positive effects. Basically, what this does, it increases the amount of time um, positive effects will last for. And in my opinion, this is a myth. I mean, if you have a spare slot, why not use it? I guess, but I personally wouldn't because when I have shown you in my I've shown you guys in my video about killing the queen bee, right? I showed you that if you eat the foods with 36 hours first, sleep through the night, you lose the food points, yes, but you will still have the positive effect, right? For maybe like 12 hours. And so you can use, you can basically eat more food again and get more positive effects. Watch my video about queen bee, about defeating the queen bee at UFA to understand what I mean. You'll know what I mean, and it is quite useful. Now, lead skin. What this does, it increases your resistance toward radiation. First by 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maximum 5 points. In my opinion, this is depending on your playstyle. For example, if you loot a lot, or maybe if you don't care that much about radiation, then you could use it. Personally, I use this perk. It has always been good for me, especially during my uh, early player times, you know. Now, the mule. This perk, it gives a max carrying capacity, an extra carrying capacity of 50 points, 50 kilos. This is useless, because long term it won't last, because you'll just obtain better vehicles, for example, motorcycles, cars, and then eventually trucks, which will render the mule perk obsolete. You won't need it. You're better off not picking it. Same thing with Marathon Runner. What it does, it increases your walking speed by first 3 kilometers, then 5, and then lastly 7 kilometers per hour, which is it is quite useless. Like, nobody uses it. And now Need for Speed, pick it. I'll put it above these if I can. Okay. Yeah. So basically, Need for Speed, what it does, it increases the vehicle speed. For example, if you have let's say you have a motorcycle that goes for like, I don't know, 100 kilometers an hour, and then you use this Need for you maximize the Need for Speed perk. At the end, you'll be able to use travel 130 kilometers instead of just 100, which is quite good. So basically, the Need for Speed increases the vehicle speed by 30%, which is quite a lot in my opinion. You should use it. And now night vision, yeah, you don't use it. What it does, night vision allows you to search in the dark, but it takes twice as long. And that's just a waste of time. You're better off just sleeping through the night and gaining the search speed, or the sleep, the positive sleep effect, because it'll give you a sleep boost. So yeah, don't use it. And then looting speed. This depends on your playstyle. For example, if you loot a lot of cities, you're probably good. You're probably it'll probably useful to use the veteran looter, because what it does, it first increases your looting speed by 10%, and then 20, and then at a maximum of 30%, which could make a lot of difference, especially if combined with the positive sleep effect and other foods that give veteran looter. So yeah, it depends on your sleep style, I mean, play style. Next, the raw diet, F tier. What it does, it grants you immunity to food poisoning and parasites, but your maximum health is reduced by 50. Yeah, it is quite useless because most of the time you won't have to eat raw food, or you'll have enough resources to cook the food. It's not that hard really. Wood or timber, lumber, whatever it's called, it's quite easy to come by, and you will not need it. This perk is useless. And then we have the strapping lad. Yeah, in my opinion, it's an F tier. So what it does increases your health by 100 points when the perk has been uh, maximized. And the reason why I think it's an F tier is simply because most of the time you will not need this extra health. I mean, sure, it could be good for early game players, but trust me, you're better off picking other perks. In a special late game, you'll have, if you play through the events, you'll have armor such as the polar armor, or maybe the steel armor, in which you'll have a lot more health. And there are also foods that can give the same effect, the strapping lad effect. So basically, you're better off without the strapping lad. Next, welfare. What it does, it increases your maximum food points by first 25 points, and then 50 at the maximum level. You're better off without it. You won't need it. The only reason, the only way I could see this being good is if you really want to maximize your positive effects before entering a fight, an important fight, right? But you won't need that many positive effects most of the time. So I'll put it at an F tier. Camel, F tier. It increases your maximum water. Yeah, you're better off without 50 extra points of water. Trust me. Energetic. What this does, it increases your maximum energy by first 25 points, and then 50. And the reason why I think this is bad is because if you have vintage items, let's say you have collected all the event energy drinks, right? Then you have, I believe, it'll give you something like 100 extra uh, energy points. And if you collect all the furnitures that can be found in cities, then it'll give you an additional 50 points, which will total to around 150 energy points. And that'll be more than enough for you. And there are better perks to pick instead of the energetic one. Trust me. Chain smoker. What it does is basically cigarettes have no negative effects, but you are addicted to it forever. Well, you don't need it. Cigarettes are only good. They're good for if you don't want to waste food, or if you don't want to sleep to regain energy points. Cigarettes will give you energy, but at what cost? You become an addict. Like there are better ways. Just sleep. Trust me. You you could literally regain all your energy without having to eat a lot of food. For example, eat like I said before. Eat one rusk, and you'll regain all of your energy points relatively quickly. Like it is quite easy. And then alcohol, raging alcoholic. Alcohol has no negative effects, but you are addicted to it forever. Yeah, it's not a useful one. Like I have never used this pack before. I don't see how it is useful. And but maybe there are some useful things for this, but personally I have not found one. And I think that there are better perks than this one. And now we have the Armadillo S tier. What it does, it increases your armor points by first 5, and then 10, 15, and then at a maximum of 20%, which is quite good. Pick it. Training. This is also an S tier. So basically, what it does, it increases your starting action points by 1, and then 2, and then at a maximum of 3 points, which is quite useful. And if you combine this with the mushroom soup, then you have 5 extra starting points, which is quite a lot, and could make a huge difference in the battle. Strategy. Oh, yeah, S tier. What it does, it increases the maximum amount of action points you can have in the battle by up to 2 points. You should pick it. Tactic. S tier as well. It increases the amount of action points you restore per turn. So first by 1 point, then at a maximum of 2 points. Speedwalker. An A tier. So basically what it does, it increases your battle movements range by 1 tile. Which is quite... Whoops. Okay. It is quite good if you move a lot in the game. But maybe it could also depend on your playstyle. But in my opinion, it is an A tier. Like, why should you not have it? Right? That's my opinion. And then, friendly fire. This means that blanket attacks do no damage to allies. Well, in my opinion, this depends on your playstyle. If you use shotguns, then sure, why not have it? If you don't, then it's probably not useful. Lucky Devil, in my opinion, this is an S tier. So what it does, if you die, if you reach 0 HP in a battle, you basically be revived, but you will have only one singular health bar left. And you could maybe use that turn to finish off the enemy, who knows. Executioner, S tier. What it does, it increases, if you kill an enemy, it'll give you back 1 action point. And this only works 2 times per turn. Okay? It is quite useful, you should take it. Sharp Eye, what it does, increases your accuracy, aka your hit chance. First by 5, and then at a maximum of 25%. You should pick it. Jack Be Nimble, this is good too. It increases your dot chance by first 5, and then at a maximum of 25%. Melee Expert. This depends on your playstyle. If you use, for example, a lot of melee weapons, then you should pick this perk. Crossbow Expert, in my opinion, it's mid. It can only be good for early game players, but long term, I don't see how it could be good. The only good crossbow that I know of is the Rambo crossbow, but you don't use it for damage. People use it for the bleeding effect it inflicts upon the enemy, not the damage. Which is why I'll be putting the crossbow expert at mid. Pistol Expert. This depends on your playstyle. It's what it does, it increases your pistol damage by 5% damage, and then up to maximum of 25%. It's good for early game players, intermediate, and also late game players. If you use Desert Eagles or other good pistols. And there are also perks. There are also perks that are good to combine with the pistol expert. I'll come to that later. Oh, and I also forgot to tell you guys, the melee expert increases the damage by 5 to 25%. And the same thing with the crossbow expert, increases the damage by 5 to 25%. Okay, moving on. Rifle expert. It increases the damage of sniper rifles by 5%, and then at 25 when it's maxed out. Sniper rifles are quite good. Uh, in early games, into mid games, and then at a more advanced stage of the game. Sniper rifles are basically good. Yeah, they used to be a lot better back then, but they got a little bit nerfed. But they're still good. But I personally, I don't use sniper rifles anymore. I prefer to use the assault rifle, which is which here uh, it increases the damage of assault rifles by 5% initially, and then at a maximum of 25% when maxed out. You use it. You can use this perk if you use assault rifles, like I do in your fights. Machine gun expert, just like all the other expert perks, it increases the damage of machine guns by first 5 and then 25%. If you use machine guns, then this is a perk you should pick. But if you're an early game player, don't pick the machine gun perk because you won't need it. Machine guns are quite expensive to use in the early stages of your game. Maybe save it for uh, when you're intermediate. Explosive expert. This is good for those who use grenades to kill. But honestly, I would very much like to put this at mid because I there I don't really see any grenades. Like I don't really see anyone using grenades to kill because most people use grenades to stun the enemy, not kill them. But yeah, if you use grenades to kill, then you could use it. You could pick this perk. But I personally wouldn't. I prefer using grenades just to stun the enemy. Shotgun expert, like the others, it increases the shotgun damage by first 5% and then at 25% when the perk has been maxed out. It's good for those who like to use shotguns, and I would like to say that if you should not pick this perk early game because shotgun shells are quite hard to come by when you're an early game player. Save this perk for late game. That's when shotguns start getting really good and when it starts getting easier to obtain shotgun shells. Grenadier. This increases your throw range by 1 tile. In my opinion, this is a mid tier. Because most of the times, most if not all the times, you'll be close enough to the enemy to throw the grenade and stun them. You won't need an extra range. And then pistol range. Pistol range is good with the pistol expert because not only will it do more damage, you will also have one extra tile to shoot if you have the pistol range. So if you use pistols, combine it with the pistol expert. It is good. And next we have crossbow range. Yeah, I would put this at mid. Because, like I said before, crossbows are not really the best weapons. They're not really the best weapons in the game. You won't need them most of the times. And then we have the grenade launcher range. Probably mid. Because grenade launchers already have a good range, in my opinion. Most of the times, you'll be close enough to the enemy to hit them all, an entire group, or just one singular enemy, who knows. You won't need this. But if you really love grenade launchers, then sure, why not? Pick it. But I personally wouldn't, even if I loved grenade launchers. Now we have the Avenger perk, where it does, if you get hit by an enemy, and the enemy is within the range of your pistol, then you will shoot back at the enemy with the pistol without losing action points. This perk is good. Uh, in it's good to be. It is good with the other pistol perks because they all work so well. Nobody leaves. This means what this perk does is if an enemy starts moving and they are within the range of your sniper rifle, then you will get a free attack without using any action points at all. If you use sniper rifles a lot, then this perk is quite good. Sniper. What this perk does, sniper rifles will cost one extra action point, but they will deal more damage. First by a 110%, 115, and then 125. It is quite good. And then we have machine gun ammo consumption, or yeah, this is good for oh sorry, this is wrong name. Point blank range. Uh, Basically, assault rifles will have one less range. The range of the range of the assault rifle will be reduced by one tile, but it'll increase. The damage will be increased by 25%, which is nice. And now we have hail of lead. What this does is that machine gun ammo consumption will increase by a lot, but the damage will be increased too. First by 100, by 100, and then so on. It is quite good if you use machine gun. So yeah, combine this with machine guns if you use them. Hunter. In my opinion, this is a mid tier, simply because hunting is nowadays not as profitable as it used to be before, when you could sell meat to NPCs. The only way I could see the hunter perk being good is if you hunt animals for maybe like I said before, for just to collect the meat and make sausages or whatever it is you want to do. But yeah, basically, hunter perk, what it does, it increases the damage to animals by 10, 20, and then lastly 30%. Monster Hunter, in my opinion, maybe even depending on playstyle, simply because of the Queen Bee at UFO. So what it does, it increases the damage to mutants by 10%, then 20, and then lastly 30. Headhunter. It increases the damage by you inflict upon humans. First by 10, then 20, and then 30. Yeah, it's not useful. Yeah, useful. Trickster. This is an easy S tier. So what it does, after moving, you gain a dodge chance of 10%, and then 15, and then 20. And then this bonus dodge chance, it ends when your next turn starts, but it will come back if you move again. It is quite good. Dual wielding. This perk is good for pistols. What it does, it'll allow you to make dual pistols. Or in other words, it'll allow you to use two pistols at the same time, which can get quite OP. Poisoner. Yeah. It's a mid tier. Maybe even an F tier in my opinion. Simply because when I use the poisoner perk, the poison arrows or the poison bolts, they did not do that much damage. It wasn't worth it. You're better off saving your poison. And then lastly, truck. S tier, baby. What it does, it increases your transport carry capacity first by 5, and then 10, and then 15%. And I will now be coming back to the mule perk, because, like I said earlier, the meal perk becomes obsolete as you obtain better transports and backpacks, right? Because transports they carry much more than just a meager 50 50 kilos. Oh dang, I almost said it in Swedish, but yeah, uh, yeah. The truck park it is quite good. You should obtain it. And this is my tier list, my 2026 tier list on they are survival perks. I'll start from S tier and then just gradually move down so that you can see all of them. Well, that's it for today. Now, I hope I can make. I think I'll be able to make another video maybe this weekend because I won't have as many tests as I had before. Yeah, I've had like three. I have yeah 3 things this week. I actually had one test today in the social studies, and on the Thursday I'll be doing a Swedish test, and then on Friday I'll be having an English test, you know, a usage test or whatever it's called. I forgot. But yeah, uh, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Oh, and I believe that the bunker event dropped today, so maybe I'll be able to make a video about it. I don't know. We'll see. And if you have any suggestions, any video suggestions, then feel free to comment down below because I love interacting with you guys, and I always read my comments. Well, that's it for today, and I hope you all had a great time watching this video. See ya.